I'm going to be cutting this piece of Ametrine today, and I've already taken it down to the workshop and started by roughing this into a rectangular shape, and we got a nice flat point for our dop stick we're going to be adding on here. Now I have it in the transfer jig encased in a piece of plasticine. This just allows me to freely move it around to find the center point, which is going to maximize the carats on the finished gem. Got it in the machine here, and we just started on the pavilion, which is the bottom half of the stone. Now right off the hop you can see these natural, almost looks like scratches in the side of the gemstone. So I'm going to have to grind down past that, and that is going to dictate the size of the gem. So I'm going to continue to cut down and make sure that we get rid of that before we move on to our 1200 grit lap wheel. I'm starting out on my 360 grit, which is an aggressive grit, and this just ensures we remove a large amount of material quickly. Now you can see one of the scratches is almost gone. There's still a little nick on the facet there, and we have the main scratch at the top which still needs to be taken out. So back onto the 360 grit, and I'm going to grind down and hopefully we can get this out. You can see we still have that to remove, and I had to spend a couple hours forming in this pavilion due to the scratches there. Okay, so now we have the pavilion shaped in on the 360 grit, and I did manage to remove those scratches, and there's a quick shot of it during the pre-polish stage. Here we are working on the polishing stage. Now those facets are starting to look pretty shiny, and I am ready to cut the crown. So just removing the gem from the machine.
This is a really cool design, and this is a really cool gem. This bicolor, as in bi as in two, like a bicep on your arm. Pretty incredible actually. So it's a mix of citrine and amethyst. That's why it's called Ametrine. Natural occurrence in nature. And it's just a very stunning thing.
Now I'm just reaching into my chest here, and I'm going to try and locate the most adequate dop for the pavilion of this size gem here.
When it comes to selecting a dop, you have something like this with a flat face on it. That's clearly not going to work for a pointed pavilion. Then you got a nice V-groove piece like this one here. So what I've done is I've encased the end of this dop, and the issue is once you've done that you can't see where the actual V-groove is. I put a little piece of plasticine on the side where the V is so that it'll actually properly fit in.
And here's just a quick time lapse of the gem being set. And here I am removing the original dop stick from the gem. So we're getting this back in the machine, and here we are working on the crown. I got the first starting two facets on the left and the right side there, and you can see a little bit of wax on the top of the gem. That's not an issue. It'll grind away later when I get to cutting the table. So as you can see, it's looking pretty shiny. We have the crown cut and polished in. Now I'm going to remove it, take a look, make sure everything's looking nice, and here we are moving on to the table, which is the viewing window of the gemstone. And moving along here, I'm on the pre-polish stage. You can see it's looking pretty nice now. We're almost there. Just have to do the final polish.
We did it. That's another one, guys.